Hey guys, welcome back to the Cool Classic Kids Show, and today we're talking about, well, the fake concerns surrounding the rumor that Call of Duty this year is coming to Game Pass on Xbox and PC, whatever have you. But before we get into that, well, let's just go over the rumors so that we have understanding. This is from Insider Gaming. Black Ops 6 is coming to Game Pass, says a new report. The Wall Street Journal is claiming that this year's Call of Duty title, believed to be Black Ops 6, will be coming to Game Pass. Past rumors have suggested that Microsoft has been heavily considering the move. However, Wall Street Journal claims that the company has made a decision, and anybody that's been following the ABK acquisition, all that nonsense, was assuming that eventually this was going to happen. I was assuming that eventually this was going to happen. This would have been it would have been outrageous for it to not eventually happen, and now we're starting to see these Activision games start to make their appearance on Game Pass. Diablo 4, I can't remember which other ones, but it's happening, guys. It's happening. And they said Microsoft plans a major shakeup in the video games sales strategy by releasing the coming installment of Call of Duty to its subscription service instead of the long-time lucrative approach to only selling it, actually selling it. So with this whole debacle, first off, this really does benefit me because at least I'll get to try Call of Duty because, well, just to let you guys know, I was a huge fan of Call of Duty Cold War. I adored that game. The only thing that made me stop playing it after over 400 hours was the fact that skill-based matchmaking did me so dirty. Despite me being pretty decent at the game, I'm not the GOAT or anything, but despite me having been pretty decent at the game, or at least having knowledge of what the broken guns were, since I invested so much time into that game, they would basically put me in skill-based match-made lobbies where essentially I had to carry 3 dummies, 3 bots through a game, and I guess I just wasn't that good to be able to do it. So even despite me getting really great, um, you know, KD ratios, I'd still end up losing like 8 out of 10 matches. So at that point, I just got sick of playing team deathmatch. And to me, team deathmatch is like the only thing I care about with Call of Duty at this point. So after that, I was like, well, don't care about Vanguard, never touching that. And I decided to try Modern Warfare 2 Remake, and that was a huge bust. I absolutely hated the team deathmatch. I hated the maps. It was a torture fest. And I even had to apologize to my best friend for asking him to buy it so that we could play together. We didn't end up playing that much together, and every time we did play together, it was a skill-based, match-made nightmare that was not fun at all. So after that, I said, well, I'm not buying any more Call of Duty games. And so I have not. I have not touched Modern Warfare 3. I've had no interest in Modern Warfare 3. If someone bought me Modern Warfare 3, I would beat them over the head with a stick. And so that game has come out. I had zero interest in even discussing it, talking about it. Anybody you talk to that hangs out with me knows I don't care about Call of Duty anymore. Sadly, because I was a huge Call of Duty fan back in the 360 days. COD lobbies, baby. I support them despite being a female. I'm not one of those that bitch and whine. But Call of Duty coming to Game Pass gives me that opportunity to give Call of Duty a try without investing $70 in a game that more than likely I'll probably hate, but there's a chance that I might actually have fun with it if they do, team deathmatch correctly. That's all I ask. And that alone would allow me to sink hundreds of hours potentially into a Call of Duty. And if the zombies are pretty decent too, hey, that's kind of icing on the cake for me. So I can give Call of Duty a try because otherwise I would not try it at all for Game Pass. And I'm one of those where if I feel like I haven't thrown a bunch of money just to buy a game and I feel like I'm going to invest a lot of time, I don't mind buying, some cosmetics here and there, especially if they have some good ones. I went overboard with Call of Duty Cold War cosmetics. I was running around as Rambo. I had all the coolest costumes for most of the female characters. Yeah, I was a beast. I I spent way too much time and money on that game. But since then, I just haven't enjoyed Call of Duty. I hadn't had really much interest in Call of Duty. And this allots me the opportunity. So somebody that would have essentially never bought another Call of Duty again is going to say, hell, I paid $10 for PC Game Pass and I can try Call of Duty to see if maybe I can get a few hours out of it that are enjoyable. That's pretty cool. But to get into the fake concern that's been raised by obviously the PlayStation fanboys because really they care more about companies' bottom dollar than they care about their own best interest, and they show it time and time again. They go out of their way to give people these weird demands: buy your games, buy your games. Like looking out for these companies' bottom dollar. It's just so weird to me. It's so strange. What company does the reverse of this? Where instead of looking out for their bottom dollar, they're looking out for your best interest. No company does this at all. Really, when it comes to Call of Duty being available on Game Pass, well, one of two things is going to happen. Either people are just going to buy it anyway that continue to buy Call of Duty, or they're going to subscribe to Game Pass, which is essentially, well, what, Phil Spencer, whatever, at Xbox wants people to do anyway. They want those Game Pass numbers to go up. And, like, I would think that, I mean, I'm not the general consensus, guys, but if I feel like I'm going to invest a lot of time into a game and I feel like I didn't spend an enormous amount of money, especially up front, I'm more willing to say, hey, I'll just buy some microtransactions, especially if they have some cool stuff there. I mean, it's not like this game isn't going to rake in money despite being put day and date on Game Pass, you know? Um, it is a great bargain to take for me, Game Pass is like that amazing place to try games that I'm iffy on. It's like a glorified demo trier for me. I don't really go out of my way to play through entire games on Game Pass. I'll try them on Game Pass if I like them, I buy them. But Call of Duty, a franchise that comes out every single year, I don't know if I would put more than like 2 months into it, depending on the situation. So paying what, $10 for PC Game Pass a month? I spent $20. I'll buy some microtransactions maybe if I like the game, if I feel like I'm gonna spend some time with the game. And that's a dub for me, man. That's a dub for Microsoft. Because I haven't been subscribed to Game Pass since the middle of last year. Because I do prefer to go out of my way to buy those games on Steam because I like to play them on my Steam Deck. I like that versatility. I like Steam, how they run things, and really it's the best launcher. So I do prefer to go out of my way to buy games on Steam, but if it's an egregious game that Call of Duty has been over the past decade, really, with how they do business and how terrible their games are getting every single release, then yeah, I don't mind not owning it, especially if it's a game that comes out every single year. The game is going to go out of style like that. So I don't mind not ever owning a Call of Duty game. It's always online, if I'm not mistaken. What's the point of going out of my way to buy that? So this fake outrage with PlayStation fanboys, I really just feel as though is unwarranted. Dreamcast guy claims that he's making a bet saying that this is going to be the lowest selling Call of Duty of all time. You have to look back in the history of Call of Duty and their sales. You might take a serious L here. Even Vanguard, for example, sold egregiously low because it was trash. And to say that this is going to be the lowest selling one, I mean, it could sell less, but make up for it in microtransaction revenue, whatever have you. This doesn't hurt Xbox. I don't see it hurting Xbox, this fake concern from PlayStation dudes that'll never invest in Xbox's ecosystem in any way, shape, or form. The ones that would rather look out, push this thing of buying games as the abundance of their platform, but Xbox handles their business different from PlayStation. Mind you, console gaming is just overall going down the shitter, whether people want to admit to it or not. I just think that PlayStation fanboys are upset that they will have to spend $70 on a game that people on Xbox will only have to pay $18 a month or whatever have you, and people on PC would only have to pay $10 have you. And even if that price does go up, which at any point that's possible, any subscription services, it depends on how much of a dedicated Call of Duty fan you are, but you still spend less if you if you invest a couple of months into it, especially if you're on PC. I mean, how much can the price of Game Pass go up on PC, really? The Microsoft knows better than to, step on PC gamers' toes. Thankfully, they understand our gangsta. PlayStation's learning the hard way that they need to respect us. So I really think that that's the only reason why. It is a smack in the face when really you have to go out of your way to pay $70 for a video game to play on your platform, and people can play the same exact game from a subscription service that, well, on PC is $10 a month. Like, for example, that's insane. And even for Xbox gamers, while it's a steeper subscription price point, it's still a bargain to be able to be like, hey, I don't have to shell out $70, because a lot of people don't want to admit this, but the $70 price tag has been a huge bust. So many companies have taken serious L's or have seen, decline in profits, or they're unhappy, generally speaking. Nobody wants to admit that the $70 price increase has been a massive negative, and there's some people that believe that that will be reversed, because there's only but so much people are willing to pay for one singular video game, especially something like Call of Duty, something that really is just shovelware yearly release garbage at the end of the day. That happens to be one of the most successful video games every single year somehow. But yeah, I really just think all this outrage is absolute nonsense, or whatever fake concern, because really all PlayStation gamers express is that they want Xbox to die, even though they claim to feel as though competition is important. That's, you clearly show your cards when you do everything in your power to express that you want your competition to die. People like JTech TV constantly like wish that Xbox every single day dies. That's really what they want. So to act like competition is good when really you just want your competition completely out of it, you guys are clowns. Knock it off. Just really knock it off. It's really just nonsense. Either way, this benefits gamers. It benefits gamers that people can have access to video games at a cheaper entry point, and you have options overall. On PlayStation, you don't really have much options, sad to say, but I mean, hey man, PlayStation gamers don't fight for options, so that's why they get none. But on Xbox, on PC, there's likely going to be options if them putting Call of Duty on Game Pass is a legitimate thing that's happening this year. That is awesome that there's options. You could still buy the video game, or you can go to the subscription. Either way, Microsoft wins. They either get the money, or they get your subscription. This is stuff that they want. So a win-win for gamers. You have choices, and a win-win for Xbox. I feel like that's a fair transition, where really you're not looking out for Xbox's bottom dollar, and how do you say? I guess you're doing both, where you're looking out for yourself, but you're also looking out for the company too. That's what it really boils down to, and that's what I think is a fair agreement. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this fake outrage, and let me know what you think about Game Pass possibly getting the addition of Call of Duty. Will you be subscribing to Game Pass for it, or are you going to continue your subscription? How does that work out for you now that there will likely be a choice there? I will definitely get Game Pass for $10, or if they increase the price, $12, whatever have you. Just to try Call of Duty, because why not? I might like it. I might invest an insane amount of time into it, or I might hate it. And I spent $12 to see if I hate this latest Call of Duty, and I can move on and not feel upset that I spent $70. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this. If you can, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Follow me over on Twitter, Kiki, like to continue conversation. Actually, also follow me on Twitch. Might be streaming there a little bit, because streaming games on YouTube is kind of, it's a difficult deal, because not as many viewers seem to want to watch gameplay. So then therefore, YouTube does YouTube stuff, and it affects the the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. So definitely follow me on Twitch, Cult Classic Cage. I will likely go live sometime this week, maybe after this video actually. And yeah, super close to 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, so consider following me, consider sharing these videos out, consider sharing out my channel. All that stuff really helps. Thank you all so much for talking with me. With all that being said, guys, I'm out. Peace.